Imagine waking up tomorrow and your entire town has vanished without a trace. No bodies, no signs of struggle, nothing. Just an empty village and a single cryptic message. This is the story of the vanished village of Hoer Verde in Brazil, a chilling tale that still haunts historians and paranormal investigators alike. It was the year 1923, in a small, remote corner of Brazil. Hoer Verde was home to approximately 600 residents, mostly farmers, craftsmen, and families who had lived there for generations. The villagers were known for their tight-knit community, celebrating local festivals with music, laughter, and devotion to their small chapel in the town center. Life was simple but happy. One ordinary morning, people from neighboring towns expected to see smoke rising from chimneys, the chatter of people starting their daily routines, and children running through the streets. But as travelers and nearby residents approached Hoer Verde, they were met with absolute silence. The streets were empty, doors hung open. Livestock wandered aimlessly, their owners nowhere to be seen. Not a single villager could be found. Even stranger, inside the main town hall, a chalkboard message had been left behind. There is no salvation. No one knew who wrote it. No one knew why it was left. Paranormal experts and historians have debated this for decades, but the origin and meaning of the message remain as mysterious as the village's disappearance itself. Investigators first considered a natural disaster. Could there have been a flood, landslide, or outbreak that forced the villagers to flee? But there was no evidence of destruction. Buildings were intact, crops were undisturbed. The chapel still had its doors open, the hymn books untouched. There were no footprints in the surrounding dirt, and even the animals showed no signs of distress. Some locals reported hearing strange whispers in the wind when they approached the area in the years following the disappearance. They said it sounded like people calling for help, pleading or crying. But when anyone entered the village, there was nothing, only the eerie silence of abandoned homes. Journalists at the time documented the chilling scene: empty streets, overturned carts, unfinished meals on tables, and children's toys scattered as if the families had simply vanished into thin air. Letters and personal items were left behind, but no one ever returned to claim them. A few travelers claimed that at night, faint ghostly lights flickered from the town, moving like shadows through the streets, as if the villagers were trapped in some alternate plane of existence. Paranormal researchers who visited Hoer Verde in the 1970s reported strange occurrences: compasses spinning wildly, sudden cold drafts, and unseen footsteps following them as they walked the empty roads. Some even said they heard the sound of faint, anguished whispers repeating the words from the chalkboard: "There is no salvation." Over the years, numerous theories arose about what could have happened. Some suggested that a mass cult or ritual had taken place in secret, involving the entire village. Perhaps the residents had summoned forces they couldn't control, and the chalkboard message was a warning, or a sign of their own doom. But no evidence of a cult has ever been found. Others believe the village was the site of a supernatural phenomenon, a sudden opening of a portal to another dimension, an unexplainable event that whisked the villagers away instantaneously. Paranormal investigators have cited the phenomenon as similar to the legendary Bermuda Triangle disappearances, but this case remains one of the few documented instances on land. Local folklore tells another version, whispered among nearby villagers, that the town of Hoer Verde had been cursed for generations. Some say the curse originated from the land itself, ancient spirits angered by settlers disturbing sacred grounds. Every year, according to legend, a day would come when the spirits would claim the entire town, leaving only emptiness behind. While many dismissed it as superstition, the chilling accuracy of the disappearance has kept the story alive for a century. Historical records show that Hoer Verde had been isolated geographically, surrounded by dense forests and river systems, making sudden evacuation for all 600 villagers nearly impossible. Skeptics argue that perhaps the villagers had fled due to an epidemic or political unrest, but no evidence of disease outbreaks, violence, or conflict was found in the surrounding regions. Even census records show that the village ceased to exist after 1923, and it was never rebuilt. Interestingly, the chalkboard message is what continues to disturb those who study the event. There is no salvation. Some interpret it literally, that there was no hope for the villagers' return. Others argue it could have been a warning. Perhaps whoever, or whatever, was responsible for their disappearance intended to prevent anyone from following or investigating. Paranormal theorists suggest the words might have been psychically imprinted, a message left by the villagers themselves as they were pulled into another plane. The mystery of Hoer Verde has inspired countless researchers, storytellers, and thrill seekers. Some attempted to investigate the area with modern technology, drones, infrared cameras, and satellite imagery, but nothing abnormal was detected, except for the lingering sense of dread that locals describe when approaching the site. GPS often malfunctions, and compasses spin uncontrollably, giving credence to theories of dimensional anomalies or strong electromagnetic disturbances. Even today, the forest around Hoer Verde remains largely untouched. Occasionally, hikers and explorers report glimpsing figures moving between the trees or feeling unseen presences brush past them. Some claim to have found personal belongings from the vanished villagers hidden in undergrowth, perfectly preserved despite decades passing, but these accounts remain unverified. Modern-day investigators also reference local legends of shadow beings that supposedly roam the site. These entities are said to emerge from the forest during the evening, flitting across the abandoned village, sometimes visible as human silhouettes that vanish upon approach. These eerie reports mirror other famous vanishing settlements worldwide, but none match the scale of Hoer Verde. Despite the centuries passing, Hoer Verde continues to capture imaginations. Paranormal documentaries, YouTube channels, and writers worldwide discuss the village, often citing it as a top unsolved disappearance case. Researchers continue to debate, was it natural, supernatural, or something beyond human comprehension? What makes this story truly terrifying is the sheer helplessness of the villagers. There is no clue, no scream, no fight. Just a peaceful morning turned into an everlasting nightmare, leaving behind nothing but empty streets, the whispering wind, and the chilling words left on a chalkboard. There is no salvation. Imagine walking into your town tomorrow and finding it completely deserted. Children's toys lying in the dirt, pets wandering alone, meals left uneaten, doors wide open, and in the center of Town Hall, a message painted on a board with such horrifying clarity that your heart skips a beat. There is no salvation. It is this absolute silence combined with the unsolvable mystery that keeps Hoer Verde alive in the world of true horror stories. Unlike other disappearances, this one offers no hope, no resolution, and no explanation. A reality that's far scarier than any ghost story. To this day, historians, paranormal investigators, and brave travelers stand at the edge of the forests surrounding the abandoned village. Many leave offerings or prayers, fearing that something malevolent lingers, guarding the secret of Hoer Verde. Others simply turn away, too unnerved by the whispering wind and the creeping shadows that seem to follow them as they leave. Would you dare enter Hoer Verde today? Walk the streets where 600 lives vanished overnight? Would you dare read the message on the chalkboard, knowing there is no explanation, no justice, and perhaps no salvation? The story of Hoer Verde remains unsolved. No one knows what truly happened that fateful night in 1923. The village is gone, its people vanished, and the world is left only with whispers, shadows, and a chilling warning carved in history. For those who investigate, the question always lingers. What happens to those who disappear without a trace? Are they trapped somewhere, lost in another dimension or worse, still wandering unseen in the same world as us? Follow Dark. Echoes for more real horror inspired from real life.